In 2003, various websites and radio stations reported that Metallica had filed yet another lawsuit. Up until this point, the band had been involved in a lengthy legal battle with Napster, in addition to women's brand Victoria's Secret and a few other companies. Side note guys, I've done a whole video on their battle with Napster. The video is down below in the description box. But today's story isn't just about another lawsuit, but rather about how stupid the media was, or is, or how Metallica's litigious ways led to many people believing the story. In 2003, it was reported that Metallica had filed a lawsuit against a band named Unfaith, who hailed from Canada. The basis of their lawsuit was that the band used, and I quote, Metallica branded chords E and F. News reports would quote drummer Lars Ulrich, who allegedly stated, "We're not saying we own those two chords individually. That would be ridiculous. We're just saying that in that specific order, people have grown to associate EF with our music." The news reports would cite Metallica's lawyer Jill Petrini, who added, "They continue to shamelessly feature the two chords on their website song samples, and we just can't have that," referring to the band Metallica were suing. The only problem was that the whole thing was a hoax. It would be concocted by a freelance commercial designer and aspiring musician, a 29-year-old named Eric Ashley. The Canadian, who resided in Montreal at the time, would run a website called Scoop This and tell CNN, "It has taken on a life of its own. Our server crashed 3 times today. The hits are already well over 100,000 visits." Ashley was able to send users to an MTV.com story about the suit, which included those fictional responses I highlighted earlier. In reality, the MTV story wasn't on the actual MTV website, but rather hosted on scoopthis.com. Part of Ashley's motivation was the recent string of lawsuits Metallica had gotten themselves in, and whether people would believe it, adding, "We all know about the Napster issue, the perfume company, the tire makers. Metallica has sued them all." The idea behind this parody was to gauge just how much their reputation has suffered as a result of the suits. Would people go so far as to believe something this extraordinary, this outlandish, could conceivably be true? Ashley even quoted himself in the fake MTV news story with his section reading, "I thought it was a prank at first, now I'm not sure what to think." As for the band Unfaith, a deeper investigation into the act revealed it to be Ashley's one-man band. Ashley would admit to spending a good chunk of time meticulously reproducing the same templates used on MTV.com and Metallica's own website to get people to buy into the hoax, telling CNN, "Getting all of the links working was the hardest part. If you click on the option to post on MTV.com's message boards about the story, the link would actually take you there to the real thing." Ashley would put out an official statement through his band Unfaith, where he chastised the media for not checking their sources. It would turn out that even some radio stations believed the story and went as far as organizing a boycott Metallica petition, with some radio stations even playing Unfaith's music as a way to spite Metallica. It would be Rolling Stone magazine, CNN, and Core TV who reached out to Metallica as well as the band Unfaith to see if the story was real. Funny enough, the real MTV.com never fell for the hoax. Rolling Stone would be the first publication to contact the parties involved, then came Core TV, CNN, and Canada's Much Music. Metallica's lawyer Jill Petrini would come out and claim the whole thing was a hoax, and Ashley would be exhausted after a day of fielding calls from dozens of newspapers and radio stations, including NPR, The Onion, and Rolling Stone. As for Ashley's one-man band Unfaith, the group performs poppy Christian songs with lyrics that read, "I want to be Jesus now, let me be your Jesus now." Ashley would tell the news outlets his band was merely a hobby and nothing serious, adding, "The real irony is that none of our songs use E and F in that order." That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again in Rock and Roll Your Stories. Take care.